everyone, this is Karen.
Hey everybody, this is Shane.
Today we're looking at part 1 of Malta.
A tiny country with a lot of history.
And the vocabulary words are explore.
Explore.
A team was sent to explore the cave system.
Wreck.
Wreck.
In 1985, the wreck of the RMS Titanic was discovered.
Site.
Site.
The field is the site of a famous battle that took place hundreds of years ago.
Honor.
Honor.
The street was named in honor of a famous doctor.
Inspire.
Inspire.
Joe said his painting was inspired by a trip he took to the English countryside. So we're talking about a tiny country, but a beautiful one called Malta.
That's right. It's like in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea.
Bingo, that's right.
And there's a lot of islands, actually. Malta has a lot of islands.
But there are only 3 major ones that have people living on them.
But it's really small. It's only like 300, 316, something like that.
Oh, you're good. It was 316 square kilometers. That's right.
Pretty small.
I know, but think about it though. I can just imagine how beautiful it can be, right? With a lot of islands.
Yeah.
So I guess you can go surfing, go snorkeling, go diving.
So it's an island, so we think of beautiful beaches and doing some kind of like water sports.
That's right.
And they even have some really cool, like a World War II ship.
Wrecks of the ships from World War II.
And you can go snorkeling and scuba diving and really see the cool stuff there.
Well, yeah, that's right. So we can do a lot of things underwater, but how about on land?
Well, they have a really rich history, like 7,000 years of history.
Wow.
So, for example, if you go to Mdina, which is the former ancient capital, it's really cool. It's a walled city. And when you go in there, you really feel like you're back in the Middle Ages.
Wow, I can't wait to visit.
Yeah, let's go. We'll see you there, okay?
See you in Malta.
Malta, a tiny country with a lot of history. Lying in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, Malta is a beautiful country made up of an island chain. Of these islands, only the 3 largest islands have people living on them. Although Malta is tiny, covering an area of around 316 square kilometers, it is full of rich history and culture.
Today's lesson is called Malta, a tiny country with a lot of history. Part 1. Hello everyone, my name is Jeff.
And I'm Mike. Now a lot of you might not have heard of Malta, but you really should check out this cool, tiny little island country. It's a country, right? It used to be part of the British Empire, I think, controlled from London, but I think now it's an independent country, an island in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, not far from Sicily. You know that island that Italy is kind of kicking? Well, Malta's just over there.
Italy looks like a boot.
Yeah.
It's kicking Sicily, and Malta is just nearby.
But much smaller.
And it is an island, but actually, to be more precise, it is an island chain or a collection of islands. Anyways, yes, lying in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, Malta is a beautiful country made up of an island chain. Now, of these islands, only the 3 largest islands have people living on them. The other islands in this island chain are just glorified rocks. The 3 largest islands actually have people living on them, so check those out.
Oh, okay. The other ones have birds living on them.
Birds and trees and shrubs.
Like but it is a very, very small country. Maybe, definitely not the smallest in Europe, right? But maybe in the smallest 5 countries in Europe. Malta is definitely in there. Let's see how small. It says, although Malta is tiny, very small, covering an area of around 316 square kilometers. That's the size of the whole country, including the really tiny island, so it is very small. It is full of rich history and Culture. Yeah, when you're an island in the middle of the Mediterranean, which has all of that history going back to the Greeks and the Romans and the Moors, and it's right in the middle of all that, a little bit of rock in the middle of that big sea, you are going to have history and culture, and it's going to be rich, interesting, long, fascinating. We'll find out more after the break.
Yeah, all right, so let's take a break.
Malta.Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。这一次要介绍的旅游景点是 Malta 马耳他。刚刚两位老师在描述这个国家的地理位置时，他们提到意大利的形状不是像一只靴子吗？然后这只靴子就好像是在踢它前面的西西里岛。那么马耳他就位于西西里岛的附近。我们顺便补充一下 ，Sicily 就是指西西里这个地方。好，那么课文一开始写到说，马耳他位于地中海的中心，是一个由列岛组成的美丽国家。好，那这边有两个重点。第一个是分词构句的用法，我们用对等连接词 and 去连接两个主词相同的子句时，这时候可以省略 and， 再省略其中一句的主词，然后把那一句的动词改分词。如果动词是主动，就用现在分词 VING， 被动就用过去分词 PP。例如 She was angered by his words and she stormed out of the apartment。这时候我们其实可以简化成 Angered by his words, she stormed out of the apartment。被他的话激怒，他气冲冲的离开公寓了。所以我们就是把 and 和一个主词省略，然后用 angered 开头。好，再来看第二个重点是片语动词 make up， 它可以指组成、构成。那么 A be made up of B 是表达 A 由 B 组成。例如 The restaurant staff is made up of 15 people。那间餐厅工作人员是由15个人组成的。好，那我们刚刚说马耳他是由列岛组成的国家，在那些岛屿当中呢，只有3个最大的岛屿上有人居住。那虽然马耳他面积很小，只有大约316平方公里，可是它却拥有着丰富的历史文化。Jeff 老师刚刚开玩笑说其他那些没有人住的小岛只是被美化的石头罢了，上面可能会看到鸟啊、灌木之类的。好，我们来补充一下 glorify 这个字 ，glorify。glorify 这个动词表示美化、吹捧。那么 Jeff 老师是用到过去分词 glorified 来当形容词去形容它是被美化的、被吹捧的。老师还有提到 shrub 就是灌木，它是拼作 SHRUB。好，那我们接着回到课文中。
Malta, a tiny country with a lot of history. With almost year-round sun and golden beaches, Malta is the perfect place for surfing, snorkeling, or diving. Divers can explore the wrecks of several ships, such as the HMS Maori, an English ship from World War II, or see caves and coral reefs off the shore of Camino.
All right, Malta. It's a place that is just filled with history. Oh, and let's not forget that it's an island in the middle of the Mediterranean, one of the most beautiful places on planet Earth. Yes, Malta is breathtaking, with almost year-round sun and golden beaches. Malta is the perfect place for surfing, snorkeling, or diving.
Wow. Water sports. You're in the middle of the Mediterranean, why not? And not only can you do the sort of normal fun things at sea, you can also see some cool things under the sea. Divers can explore the wrecks of several ships, such as the HMS Maori, an English ship from World War II, or see caves and coral reefs off the shore of Comino. I would guess Comino is one of the islands in the chain of islands that makes up Malta. And they have very cool things there, like an English warship, a British warship from World War II, the HMS Maori. Malta actually was one of the most heavily bombed places in the world during World War II. The Germans bombed the heck out of that place.
I did not know that.
They had
That's
a big
terrible.
port there, yeah. So they had a lot of sunken ships.
Anyways, here it says that divers can explore some wrecks. What does it mean to explore something? You check it out. Yeah, if you explore something, you go look around some area, okay? You go to a place that is new to you, you look around, and you become familiar with that thing. So, you go to some place that is new to you, and you learn all about it, okay? So you haven't been to this wreck before, but you put on your gear and you go explore it and you learn all about it. For example, a team was sent to explore the cave system. Yes, we want to know about this cave system before we send everybody, so let's send a team first to explore and figure things out and explore this cave system. Now, we're exploring a wreck here. What the heck is a wreck?
Good rhyme. A wreck is a word we often actually use as a verb. To wreck something is to destroy something, to ruin something, to break it very, very, very badly. If someone crashes their car at a high speed, they wreck their car, right? You're not going to be able to fix that. It's just a big pile of junk. Well, you could call that big pile of junk, especially of a machine or something, a wreck. Oh, the car's a wreck. You should just buy a new one, someone might say. So when we talk about things that are still there but are so destroyed it's not useful anymore, especially if we're talking about a ship or an airplane possibly, or a car, we can say it's a wreck. So a sunken wreck means it's a broken old boat that's under the water. It's sitting there on the floor of the sea or the bottom of the seabed or whatever, and you can go down there and see it, and it's a little bit of history, but it's not really a working ship anymore. It's so broken, it's a wreck. For example, in 1985, the wreck of the RMS Titanic was discovered. It was.
Wow.
The bottom of the North Atlantic.
Oh, cool.
Jack and Rose weren't there. They'd moved on.
Well, they were fictional characters to begin with. Okay, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a break, but don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
马耳他位于地中海，非常适合玩水上运动。那么课文就写到说，这个地方几乎全年阳光普照，还有金色的海滩。这是个冲浪、浮潜、潜水的完美地点。那么潜水客还可以去探访几艘失事的船只，像是毛利号驱逐舰，它是一艘2次世界大战期间的英国船舰。好，我们先来看2个单字 ，explore。这个动词表示探访、探勘或是探究的意思。那么 wreck 这个字当动词可以表达撞毁、破坏。那么在文中是当名词来指失事的船只啊、飞机等等的残骸。好，麦克老师有聊到说，在2战期间，马耳他是其中一个被轰炸的很严重的地方，所以才会有这么多的沉船。老师用到 sunken 这个字，就是形容沉没的、沉入海底的，它是拼作 sunken sunken。好，另外 Jeff 老师在描述马耳他的美丽海滩时，他用到 breathtaking， 就是像这样。你会觉得它是很壮观的、很令人惊叹的。那这个字是拼作 breathtaking breathtaking。好，这句话课文中。
Malta, a tiny country with a lot of history. People may come for the beaches, but they stay for Malta's culture. Over its 7,000 years of history, Malta has changed hands countless times. This has left behind a rich mix of cultures and amazing historic sites. One such site is Mdina, the ancient former capital of Malta. Walking through this walled city will make you feel like you are back in the Middle Ages. Another must-see is the Mosta Dome, a church that was built in honor of Saint Mary. The church's design features a huge domed roof and was inspired by Rome's Pantheon.
Okay, now people may come for the beaches. They may come to Malta for the beaches because they are golden and beautiful. The sun's always out.
It's the Mediterranean.
But they stay for Malta's culture. So there you go. You got the great beaches, but how many beach days can you really put in? So you come for the beaches, you put in a couple of beach days, and then you stay. You really put in some time because there's culture to experience there in Malta. Over its, get this, 7,000 years of history, Malta has changed hands countless times.
Wow.
7,000 years of history.
Yeah, that's a really long time, going back to like ancient Egyptian times type of thing. That's amazing. And when we say something has changed hands, that basically means it's had different owners, right? So if you're talking about an old book that you bought at a book sale, oh, this used to belong to someone, it's changed hands. Here, though, of course, being an island, we're kind of talking about different governments or different groups have controlled or ruled the island. Might have been the Egyptians, and then the Greeks, and then the Romans, and then someone else. It's changed hands, and so this has left behind a rich mix of cultures and amazing historic sites. 7,000 years, lots of different people have come through, left their mark, so we have a rich mix of culture and different sites.
Did the Nazis bomb all of this into oblivion?
Good question.
I hope
probably
they didn't
not all of
flatten
it.
the island.
No,
Gosh,
probably
that'd be
just
terrible.
the place where they had, you know, war stuff.
Ah, war stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, historic sites. Historic sites are historic places. Why? Because sites are places where something or some things are located. That's all there is to it. One note though, here the word site is spelled S-I-T-E. It's a site. A site is where something is located. For example, the field is the site of a famous battle that took place hundreds of years ago. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on and learn more about Malta.
That's right. One such site is Medina, the ancient former capital of Malta. There you go. So that was the former capital, telling us that today that's not where the government is located. But in the past, maybe under the Moors or the North Africans or something like that, that's where the capital was. So this is a historical site. Walking through this walled city will make you feel like you are back in the Middle Ages, back during the times of knights and castles and all that kind of stuff. So it still has some of the buildings. So obviously in the war, it wasn't bombed, so that is a good thing. And there's something else that you would want to see too.
Yeah, another must-see is the Mastodome, a church that was built in honor of Saint Mary.
Oh, okay.
Mother of God.
That's, yeah, there you go. If it's that Mary, definitely. The Virgin Mary. We honor people like saints or heroes or great politicians or great scientists, anyone who's done something kind of great and special and wonderful. We honor those people. We salute those people. So if something is an honor, that is basically some kind of prize or award or public salute that this person did something good, so we're going to put up a statue, put up a plaque with their name on it, give that person a medal or something like that. That is an honor, or when you do something in honor, you are showing respect to this person or whatever great thing happened. For example, the street was named in honor of a famous doctor. Tell us more about the Mastodome.
The Mastodome, the church's design features a huge domed roof, hence dome, and was inspired by Rome's Pantheon, those copycats. Anyways, here we have the verb inspired. Excuse me. The verb inspire, okay? In the sentence, though, we are using it in this form, inspired. Now, whenever I think of this word inspire, I think of this question. So, what made you want to do this?
Oh, what inspired me?
I.e., what inspired you? What filled you with that urge? What made you feel creative enough that you wanted to do something? Okay? That's the idea here. For example, Joe said his painting was inspired by a trip he took to the English countryside. There you go. All right, folks, that's it for today's lesson, but don't go away. We'll be back next time with more on Malta.
马耳他除了有美丽的海滩，还有着丰富的历史文化。在它的7000年历史当中呢，马耳他经历了无数次的政权转换，留下形形色色丰富的文化，还有令人赞叹的历史遗址。好，我们的单字 site 就是指遗址、地点或是场所。那么文中用到 change hands。换手，那就是指转手易主。好，那么刚刚 Jeff 老师问到说，二战期间马耳他有没有被完全的炸毁呢？但显然应该是没有啦，至少它还有留下不少的历史遗址嘛。那我们这边补充一下，老师有用到 oblivion 这个名词，它表示完全被毁灭、彻底被消灭的状态。那么 oblivion 它是拼作 oblivion。当我们说 bomb 什么什么 into oblivion， 就可以表达说把什么什么来炸成一片废墟。好，课文接着介绍了马耳他的其中一个历史遗址，叫做姆迪纳。那它是马耳他古老的旧首都。当你走在这一座有着围墙的城市呢，就会感觉好像回到中世纪一样。那么另外一个必看的景点则是莫斯塔圆顶教堂，它是为了纪念圣玛丽而兴建的教堂。那么教堂设计是受到罗马的万神殿来启发的。好，我们先来看单字 honor。honor 当名词可以表达名誉、荣誉。In honor of somebody or something 就可以表达纪念某人或某事物，向什么什么来致敬，为了庆祝什么什么。好，我们要纪念某个人的时候呢，可能会立雕像啊，或是把他的名字写在匾额上面。那 Mike 老师说的 plaque。plaque 就是表达匾额、牌匾的意思。再来看下一个单字 inspire 这个动词表示赋予灵感、启发。那我们最后来看两个重点。第一个是 make 加受词加原形动词，是表达致使、使得什么什么来做某事。那么 make 在这边是表达致使或是让，它不带有强迫的意味哦。那么受词的后面要记得接原形动词，例如Yoga makes her feel relaxed. 练瑜伽让她觉得很放松。第二个重点 feel like 在这边是表达感觉好像怎么样，后面可以接名词或是接子句。例如 Sometimes he feels like nobody cares about him. 有时候啊，他觉得好像没有人关心他，好像没有人在乎他一样。好啦，那么以上是这些讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
There are many different kinds of wine. Shiraz wine is the name used for certain wines made in South Africa and Australia. The grape is originally from France. It was brought to Australia by James Busby back in the 17th century. Busby is known as the father of Australian wine. The grapes grown in Australia are unique from the ones in other places. They look and taste different because the weather is warmer in Australia. The name Shiraz is from the wine's history in Iran, where the capital city used to be Shiraz. It was famous for making wine back in the 9th century. Shiraz wines taste good with certain food too. Shiraz is categorized as red wine, so it goes well with any heavy food like steak or pasta.
Here is more information.
Vine. The grapes grow on the vine. Foundation. This course gives students a solid foundation. Industry. The food industry makes trillions of dollars every year. Hardy. This plant is hardy and easy to grow. Flexible. My schedule is flexible. I can meet you at any time today. Survive. It's almost impossible to survive in the desert without any water. Climate. Global warming is making the climate hotter. Flavor. I like the flavor of strawberries. Region. Penguins live in cold regions. Technique. We need to learn modern techniques. Pair. Many people pair fish with white wine. Thank you for learning with us today. We hope to teach you again soon.
See you next time.